Hey there, this is the One Boom, and I'm just checking in on my Call of Duty complaining app. Now, this is an application I downloaded a while back. It's really nice. It lets me know when I'm supposed to be complaining about Call of Duty. It keeps my schedule nice and organized. It hasn't gone off in a while, actually. That's a shame. I actually selected a sort of classical music tune for it, just so it's a little less abrasive and it gets me into a sort of calm headspace before I tear Call of Duty a new one. But I don't know. Vanguard's basically perfect, so I don't think there's anything for me to talk about. Alright, so Call of Duty Vanguard has been out for over a month, and I thought it'd be fun to discuss all the things I hate about it. This video is going to be hypercritical. No, I'm not a hater of this game, I do like it, but after quote-unquote prestiging 4 times, I have a lot of complaints. One thing I have to say really fast is that I know Vanguard has been sort of taking over my channel. That really is because I'm enjoying it the most out of the 3 big shooters that released, but I do plan on doing a Halo video reviewing the campaign once I beat it, and Battlefield 2042 I have a video about, whether or not it's really as bad as people are saying. Also, the best way to get in contact with me and give feedback to me on different topics, if you're interested in that, is hitting the bell icon to get notified when I go live. I live stream in the evenings here in the United States, and in those evenings I'm willing to read the chat. Sometimes I miss a message or two, but that's the best way to get a hold of me. So now let's get into what I don't like about Call of Duty Vanguard. The first thing is just lobby and party issues. This is the big thing. If this was fixed, I could enjoy my play sessions more consistently, but unfortunately, no. Throughout every play session, I am having trouble with my friends joining and connecting to me. They're getting kicked after certain games, they're getting booted, they're getting told that they have to connect to online services or that they can't connect to online services. It's not fun to constantly be re-inviting my friends over and over again after multiple games. Now, in that same line of issues, the connection and NAT type. Now, I do believe the best way to fix the packet burst issue in this game is to just go ahead and disable the icon that shows up when packet burst is detected, because I do believe that icon is broken, because when I turn that icon off, I barely notice any lag spikes. Maybe I'll get into a jitterier match here and there, but I don't really see those packet burst issues now that I've disabled that icon, and my friends say the same thing. And it's less distracting. I think the biggest problem with the packet burst problem is that when the packet bursts, yeah, that's good to know on the one hand, but on the other hand, it's distracting and it's ruining my gunfight confidence, so just turn it off so you don't get notified. It should be under your interface settings. I actually haven't had too many lag issues with Vanguard. I just don't like that when I'm playing, I go from having a 40 to 60 millisecond ping in most lobbies, and then randomly, and I don't know if this is because of skill-based matchmaking or the fact that I'm playing with a full party of people that are all over the country and world, but just occasionally I'll get a massive 80 to 90 millisecond ping lobby, and while some people are used to playing at that, I'm not, so it's something worth bringing up. The most perplexing issue, however, is that I keep getting a moderate NAT type displayed to me, even though my console says my NAT type is open, and I have done every conceivable thing to fix the NAT type. Yes, I've restarted, rebooted, unplugged and replugged everything you can think of. I have done universal plug and play, manual port forwarding, the DMZ, whatever you want to call it, whatever it might be, whatever you want to tell me, I've already tried it. So that's pretty annoying. Moderate NAT just really limits who you're connecting to, and I wonder how much better the quality of my matches would be if I had an open NAT. Next thing I want to get out of the way real fast is factions. This game doesn't have factions, and it's 2 sides of the same pool of operators fighting each other every match. I don't need this game to be realistic Axis versus allies or anything like that, but what I would like is that I can tell at a glance who's on my team and who isn't, and the fact that I can't makes the game feel cluttered, messy, cheesy, and overall less competitive. I only can tell by UI prompts who's on my team and who isn't, and I think that's bad game design. If I have to use my minimap, kill feed, and the names above their heads, whether they're there or not there, to be able to tell who's on my side, it's gonna hurt my experience, and it already is. It's not game ruining, but it's not game bettering either. I wish we had fully customizable characters or milsim outfits or something, but we don't. So it's like 5 Wades fighting each other some matches, and it just seems silly. Next gameplay issue I have is destruction. I love the destruction in Vanguard. I think it's a fun new gimmick for the Call of Duty series, being able to blow apart walls and take cover out of play. It's cool, I like it, it's satisfying. What I don't like, however, is when a wall looks broken enough for me to crawl under or jump through, or especially like the windows and the shutters. It looks like I can go right through it, but I can't. Or what only can be described as 1/100th of a door remains in the frame, and I have to continue to shoot it in order to actually be able to run through without getting hooked on something. I bump into a lot of geometry in this game because it looks destroyed, but there's little tiny invisible barriers seemingly surrounding a lot of the destructed environments. Also, this means that when I go to throw a grenade through a gap, it bounces back at me off of an invisible wall sometimes, and they just need to fix this. I know this is the first time Call of Duty's had this much destruction and this much dynamic destruction that can just kind of happen at any time. That's really cool, but, you know, fix it anyway? The next issue I have is Killstreaks. Why aren't they point streaks or score streaks? I love being rewarded for getting kills without dying, and I don't want a Cold War system ever again, but when I play the objective, I want to feel patted on the back in some way. If I'm aiding my team, I should be rewarded for aiding my team. I think people would play the objective harder, they'd do more support-like actions more often if they were able to get score for it, and if that score actually went to getting their UAV or their mortar strike. I know you'd have to take all of the score streaks, or all the kill streaks, sorry, and convert them into score streaks. You'd have to give them a point value and probably adjust some of the score distribution in game, but that's not undoable, and I think it'd be a good idea. The next issue I have is Bloom. Bloom has been heavily reduced in Vanguard since launch, but there's still first shot Bloom in the game. Remove it absolutely entirely, because I know they're doing that for Warzone. Remove it entirely and have the accuracy stat on certain attachments have to just do with horizontal recoil. Attachments with recoil control will aid with the vertical magnitude of the recoil, whereas accuracy will reduce overall side-to-side wobble. This kind of rework could be complicated, but I do think it should happen. In Call of Duty, if we can agree on anything, it's that your streaks should reset when you die and your bullet should go where your sight is. Now I have some perk and weapon balance issues. Perk balance issues first. I don't like the perks in the game. I already made a whole video on this. I won't harp on it too much, but not being able to run Cold-Blooded and Ninja, or Ghost and Cold-Blooded, not being able to run Fortified and Survival Training, or Overkill and Lightweight, kinda hurts. I feel like I can't really make an interesting class in Vanguard. I can make interesting weapons, and I'll make a whole video on Vanguard's Gunsmith, but I can't make an interesting class that adapts to a wide variety of playstyles. Class creation boils down to what resistance perk do you want, what intel perk do you want, and what miscellaneous movement speed or equipment perk do you want. Now maybe it's good people can't have a sniper rifle shotgun lightweight combo, but what I don't like is that I can't have survival training and dauntless. I can't have dauntless and fortified. In a game that guarantees everybody lethals and tacticals, why can't I defend myself from both? And now on to weapon balance, more specifically the fact that there's incendiary damage, suppression, and flinch. I like the weapons in Vanguard. I like that you can Frankensmith them, keep them clean, or just turn them into a meta monster. I mean, there are certain weapons that are being entirely slept on, but the people that are using them and that like them are dominating with them. They're having lots of fun with them because every weapon can be made into a viable monster, at least that I've played with. So sure, there's more nuanced balance issues I could probably talk about, but what I don't like is that with some weapons, I can dictate how much flinch I receive and how much flinch I deal. There should be no attachment in the game that makes you take less flinch or provide more flinch. Flinch should be based on weapon, class, and caliber, and it should be noticeable yet controllable. It shouldn't be this thing where, you know, like I made this analogy a couple videos ago, you play like 5 games where none of your opponents happen to be using flinch-resistant attachments, and the next game you fight enemies that are using flinch-resistant attachments. That gets messy. You've created an inconsistency here, Sledgehammer, where sometimes my enemies get flinched off target when I hit them, other times they keep zeroing me while I'm filling them full of bullets at a distance or with a lower damage weapon, and it just doesn't feel good. Then of course there are certain weapons where you can put on proficiencies or whatever that increases the flinch dealt to the opponent, which throws them off, and I just don't think that works. I just think this is a bad system. And on top of that, you have suppression. Suppression, that I might add, can be changed by using certain proficiencies, perks, and other attachments and whatnot. I think it's fun that the Gorenko anti-tank rifle allows you to put on a round that suppresses enemies harder, because it's an anti-tank rifle. But I shouldn't be able to do that with the Thompson. I should not be able to create more suppression with an SMG. Suppression, if it's going to be in the game, needs to be universal and not be able to be changed by certain attachments and perks. In fact, I hate that I want to run Dauntless on every class just so I don't get slowed down while trying to run around a corner. The problem with the game is that because Dauntless exists, sometimes your enemies are getting away and sometimes they're not. This creates more inconsistencies, just like incendiary rounds. Incendiary rounds create an inconsistency where sometimes, most of the time, you take the incendiary damage and you're fine, it ticks you a little bit, but you're okay. And other times, it ticks you around a corner just one too many times and you die. All this does, everything I just described does, is increase randomness, inconsistency, frustration. These aren't things that improve the formula, so I don't think they should be here. One of my next Vanguard videos will be about how I want them to rework suppression because I don't like the current way that they have it in the game. And last but not least, I have concerns about the types of post-launch content we're going to be getting. I didn't mind weapons in the Battle Pass, but now that we have perks and equipment, I'm concerned they're going to start putting more and more useful perks and equipment into the Battle Pass, or just perks that should have been in the game at launch. Like Point Man for Modern Warfare, Quick Fix for Modern Warfare. How about a perk that removes the red name from above your head? That'd be kind of scary. Maybe through the Battle Pass in Season 2, we'll get a perk that counters fire damage. Instead of buffing existing perks and rearranging them, I feel like they're just going to start adding perks into the Battle Pass that sort of allow you to double up on intel, double up on resistance perks. You know, that might be why the perks are so odd in Vanguard. This is the first Call of Duty game where we can't stack 2 stealth perks or 2 resistance perks. So maybe the reason for that is they want to remedy it with Battle Pass perks. I don't want that. I'd be worried about them adding lethal bouncing betties and AT mines to the Battle Pass, and that's how we get those. I don't want that. I don't think anybody wants that. And before you say that's ridiculous, literally the Serpentine perk in the Season 1 Battle Pass allows you to tank a 3-line rifle round to the chest while sprinting. That is a powerful, valuable perk that's annoying to counter, and it's already making gunfights less consistent overall. More inconsistency as found through the Battle Pass. Now, I'm not so much upset about the fact that you can buy them, because I believe anybody that buys tiers in a Battle Pass, well, they're weak. Their bloodline is weak, and history will forget them. I don't think it's that big of a deal. And I don't mind having nice things to grind for that I want that will actually affect gameplay, not just cosmetic after operator skin I won't use, after emblem I won't use. It's nice that the Battle Pass at tier 44 is going to give me a perk that I can use for the rest of the life cycle. It's not so much that Season 1 bothers me, it's that I feel like this is going to get worse before it gets better. It's setting a sort of slippery slope precedent that could end up hurting Vanguard severely later in its life cycle. It's kind of funny because Cold War desperately needed Season 1, 2, and 3 to actually feel like a complete $60 Call of Duty game. Vanguard launched feeling like a complete $60 Call of Duty game, and its seasons might bring with it a plethora of weird balancing issues through perks and equipment and new weapons. Anyway, let me know what you guys are thinking about Vanguard 1 month after its release. I'm personally really enjoying it despite these issues, but these issues are the things that bother me about the game. But again, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, please feel free to hit the bell icon to get notified when I go live, because I like to live stream on this channel at least every other day, every 2 days, sometimes every 3, but it'd be great if I got some more people in there to chat with and talk to and answer questions from. So if you're interested in that, please hit the bell icon, get notified when I go live and when I upload, and I will see you when I see you. Let me know what you think of Vanguard down below.